Martha Graham. Most people who have heard of her think of her revolution in dance, how she had used spastic movements to express her passionate emotions in her choreography. Known as the mother of modern dance, Graham was one of the first to explore the boundaries of dance that no other dancer or choreographer had explored before. She had pushed past the limitations of classical ballet and stepped out of the norm. But what people may not know about Graham is her impact on society, contemporary issues in the United States to be specific. By showing her thoughts and emotions through her distinct choreography, Martha Graham drew public attention to American issues relating to fascism and feminism. Born in 1894, Martha Graham lived with dance every step of the way in her life. When she was a little girl, her father said to her, "Movement never lies." She had said that was her very first lesson as a dancer. One day, she had spotted a poster of the famous dancer Ruth St. Denis. After a while of pleading, she was allowed to watch one of Ruth's dance performances. Throughout the entire performance, Graham was completely captured. Soon after, Ruth St. Denis had opened a dance school, Denis Sean, where Graham enrolled. Martha Graham was a very determined student who learned difficult steps quite rapidly. It was not long before Graham was given the lead role in a new dance Ted choreographed, Sochiko. Eventually, Graham became tired and bored of dancing the same repertoire at Denis Sean. She became the co-director of the dance department at the Eastman School of Music. There, she had the opportunity to choreograph and experiment with her own style. Graham wanted to express emotional and spiritual themes classical ballet could not express. She had accomplished this through spastic movements, tremblings, and falls. In addition to her so-called modern dance style, she had started the use of new costumes and set design. She replaced the traditional ballet tunic or folk dress with the common leotard or a long shirt. For set design, Graham, along with famous Japanese sculptor Isamu Noguchi, started including sculpture on the dance stage. Another one of Graham's beliefs was that dance shows the choreographer's country spirit. She wrote in an essay in 1937, "A dance reveals the spirit of the country in which it takes root. No sooner does it fail to do this than it loses its integrity and significance." Graham had strived to dance with a distinctly American style. She became the epitome of not only American dance, but of American art as well. Other cultures had their own style of dance, whether it was Greek, Spanish, and much more. But the United States did not have their own style. This is where she comes in. Graham incorporated American lifestyle and culture into her choreography. In 1944, the ballet Appalachian Spring premiered, one of her famous works. It was the story of a couple's wedding during the early settlement of America. Before that, though, in the 1930s, she had began to explore and experiment with dance involving what being American meant to her. This led to another one of her most well-known pieces, American Document, which is completely revolved around the theme of defining what it means to be American. The performance had featured Martha Graham's dance company's first male dancer, Eric Hawkins. American Document was divided into various episodes, each retelling a different part of American history. Not only had American Document served an important purpose of being an identifiable American-style dance, it also marked new territories in the dance and theatrical world. Graham had incorporated a script into the performance. The script included excerpts from well-known American documents, such as the Declaration of Independence and the Emancipation Proclamation. Graham integrated the ongoing contemporary issue of rights and injustices and had proved to the world how she was a socially conscious artist. Graham was an important social and political figure in the fact that she constantly incorporated various contemporary issues into her choreography and was able to address this to vast crowds. Her first work that demonstrated social protest, presented in 1927, was Revolt. It used jutting movements as though the individual was fighting a menacing and invisible force. Most of Graham's works involved with social protest or comments were of the individual, an outcast, fighting against not a societal group, but society as a whole, a situation similar to the one of Revolt. Revolt was created the same year she had turned down Hitler's invitation to perform at the International Arts Festival in Germany. If Graham had accepted the invitation, she would have gained worldwide fame and received a considerable amount of money. but she had not accepted. Instead, she had declined Germany and the Nazis without a second thought. In the letter she wrote in response, she said, "I would find it impossible to dance in Germany at the present time period. So many artists whom I respect and admire have been persecuted, have been deprived of the right to work for ridiculous and unsatisfactory reasons, that I should consider it impossible to identify myself, by accepting the invitation, with regime that has made such things possible," referring to the mass murders of Jews the Nazis were committing. Graham's parallel actions both outside of dance and in dance demonstrated her strong, unique personality and commitment to challenge contemporary issues. One of the specific contemporary issues took place during World War II. This issue was fascism. Martha Graham's anti-fascist beliefs were partially surprising because she had been distant to left-wing politics, or a political position that supported social equality and favors political reform. Graham choreographed several dances at the time to express her own beliefs and address this issue. Her political view and pro-war statement was especially obvious in American Document. Martha Graham was also a prominent advocate for feminism, for her works often related to women and their daily triumphs and struggles. It had started at the beginning of her career life with Sochiko at Denishon and until the end of her dancing career. All of her dances involved a single, powerful and determined, central female protagonist. The beginning of her choreography involving female character was her dance Appalachian Spring and Frontier. They had told stories of American pioneer women. Later, Night Journey, premiered in 1937, became her most well-known piece about gender representation. The story behind it is the Greek myth about Oedipus, the supposed to be male hero. Rather than having the story centered around the male character and have the female character be powerless to do anything in the myth, Martha Graham choreographed the dance from the point of view of Jocasta, Oedipus's mother and wife. Jocasta danced more than any other character and was the only one to never leave the stage. The audience could easily tell that Jocasta was the central character, not Oedipus. Her work had created a new representation of gender roles. This piece had a similar narration with a genre of Hollywood films out around the same time, known as film noir. Film noir was the response to the disrupted society after World War II and the readjustment. When most of the young men, the majority of the American workforce, were deployed to war, women had taken the empty jobs as part of the war effort and, as a result, became independent both economically and sexually. Graham's Night Journey faced a similar situation. She had choreographed it to assert her own strength and independence. In the beginning, the public did not cope well with Martha Graham's new style of dance, for they were not used to any kind of dance except for European ballet. Gradually, with time, she gained a following. Her performances would result in standing ovations from full houses. The majority of critics viewed her as the more accepted and interesting artist. In Sochiko, she had gained her first critical acclaim, but it was definitely not her last. In addition, critic John Martin had praised her as her generation's most talented dancer. Eventually, she became the artist that whatever she or her students did, it was the latest and most important news. Martha Graham is now known as one of the most important choreographers in history. For exploring outside of the boundaries of the norm and rejecting classical ballet, Graham had not only created a new style of dance, but also revolutionized every aspect of dance, from new costumes and set design to the use of spiritual and social themes in her works. Using her revolutionized dance style, she was able to impact American society by addressing contemporary issues. Martha Graham died in 1991 from cardiac arrest, but her legacy will live on, for she has left the dance world forever changed.